Students. Uh, I'm so happy you all are here today morning, and I welcome the entire team of universities and their representatives for this Indian University Career Fair. We feel this is the need of the hour. Everybody should know what are the opportunities in India, how to go about getting admissions in India, and the system in India has also changed. It's nothing less than anywhere else in the world. Earlier, we thought we have this closed compartments. Those compartments no more exist with the liberal education that has come in into Indian scenario. So we have a good team of universities over here. I welcome each one of you to this career fair. So let's hear from them. Before that, I hand over the podium to Mr. Ankur Vorha, who is moderating this particular session. Thank you, Mr. Ankur, for organizing the event.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sindhuji, for inviting us. Yes, indeed, this is a small effort, collaborative effort of seven of the leading universities in India to come together and present together for exclusively for the students of our own high school, Al Varka in Dubai. Our sincere gratitude for Ms. Sindhu for inviting us. As she said, it is an endeavor for us to interact and engage directly with NRI students in the Gulf. I have been traveling in Middle East for last many years, and I had the honor of visiting your school many times over the last years. I am sure many of my leading universities have also got students from your school. We at OP Jindal Global University, I am the head of outreach and international admissions at OP Jindal, also have students from our own high school, Al Varka. So I'm looking forward to next 90 minutes today. We have seven top institutions, as I said, from India. India is undergoing a transformation, and there are new age universities which we call are at par with global universities at any of the leading developed countries, be it in US, Canada, UK, whichever countries that you are looking to for university options. So I'm happy to be bringing those seven of those universities today for all of you. Over the next 90 minutes, each university has been allotted 8 to 10 minutes for their respective school presentation. So they will be talking about their programs, admission process, any special admission criteria or fee structure for NRI kids and students. And post those seven presentations, we will also have a short Q&A at the end. Do note we are available. All the seven university representatives are available in the chat section. Please make sure that you engage with us in the chat section at any point of time. If you have any question, just type it in and we'll be happy to answer your questions in the chat section. If not, you want to answer you want to ask your questions live, you can use the raise hand option and we will come to you and unmute you and you can ask your question live over voice call. So that's about it. Two simple rules. And I wish you all the very best, all the parents and the students joining in. I hope we have an engaging and a fruitful 90 minutes. With this, I would like to invite our first speaker, Ms. Harshita Tripathi from Shiv Nadar University, to start her presentation, please.
Thank you, Ankur, for setting the context. Thank you, Sindhu, for introducing all of us and having us here together. Welcome to all our students, parents, teachers, educators who have joined us in this morning hour. And I'll quickly begin. I'm Harshita Tripathi, representing Shiv Nadar University, which is chosen as Institution of Eminence in India. We are located in Delhi NCR region. And in the next few slides, I'll be highlighting two aspects. One, of course, is the admission process, and second is the multidisciplinarity of our university. All right. So, a little bit about the university. This is a philanthropic effort by Mr. Shiv Nadar, and it comes under the Shiv Nadar Foundation. There has been several initiatives under Shiv Nadar Foundation, from Vidya Gyan, which is a school for rural students, to Shiv Nadar School, which is a K-12 schools, and we have campuses in different regions in India. And then the Shiv Nadar University. The recent addition has been Kiran Nadar Museum. One can actually take a look that we range from schools to higher education to arts, and that's a wide range of aspects being covered by Shiv Nadar Foundation. University right now is a global university. That's how we would like to define it and call it, which is comprehensive, multidisciplinary, research focused, and student centric. These are the four pillars which kind of defines our university. A brief about the university. It was established in 2011, and in fact, next year we'll be completing a decade of the university. This is approved by UGC, approved by AICTE, all regulatory bodies covered. Right now, we have 5 schools, and I'll walk you through each school in coming slides. We are really research focused. We have a lot of research centers. We have 4 years undergraduate degree course, which is unlike a lot of other universities, which has 3 years degree course in India. But we follow the West pattern, and we have 4 years degree course even for BA and BSc, and that's what we call BA research and BSc research. The 4th year is completely dedicated for the research aspect, where our students undergo a research project. Now, this is a bit about multidisciplinary learning approach, and I wanted to highlight this aspect for all our audience over here. Say, for example, you choose to do mechanical engineering and you want to do a major in mechanical engineering. This can be any subject. This is a hypothetical example. You can take, for example, economics honors. You can take, for example, history or civil engineering, any aspect, right? So while you're doing mechanical engineering major, you have an option to choose electives. All right, and we have like 5 or 6 range of electives which are defined over here, and out of these electives you can choose 4 5 whatever number of electives you want to do, and those will range to 15% of your total weightage, right? You have a flexibility to choose any elective depending on any school you are in. And then these are the core curriculums. Core curriculums weigh 25% of your total credits, and core curriculums are mandatory for all students, irrespective of the school they are in, whether they are in engineering, humanities, or natural sciences. And this total adds up to your credit course. So you are actually getting a depth of the knowledge through your majors. You are getting a broad horizon of information through your core curriculums, and you are developing and gaining interest in whatever subjects you like through your electives. So it's a holistic learning process where one gets to choose what they learn, and this is a unique aspect in Indian universities which has been recently kind of populated and developed. Now, this is the opportunity for undergraduate research, which is the 4th year aspect, which I've been talking about. Every student kind of undergoes a research project in their 4th year, and the research component is very critical and very critically linked to the critical thinking aspect at the university, and hence the focus on research is immense over here. Each student gets a mentor in the 4th year, and most of the students had their 4th year research published either in international journals or in some projects on books or whatever. Yeah. Now, these are the schools which I'll be taking through. We have School of Engineering, which offers BTech programs in chemical engineering, civil, computer science, electrical and electronics, electronics and communication, and mechanical. We have Schools of Humanities and Social Sciences, which offers BA research program in English, history, sociology, and international relations. We offer BSc research in economics. The latest edition has been economics and finance, which was offered last year itself. The School of Natural Sciences offers BSc research programs in biotechnology, chemistry, mathematics, and physics. School of Management and Entrepreneurship has BMS program, which is Bachelor of Management Studies. The BSc Research in Economics and Finance is also cross-listed here under School of Management and Entrepreneurship. So far, we have 18 academic partners. The latest edition, which has been University of Pennsylvania Museum of Art, which was last added just last week on our international academic partners collaboration list. Now, what it means for student is that they can go there for summer exchanges, they can go there for semester exchanges. There are also joint research programs, joint PhD supervision, which we have, say, through University of Michigan and several other universities. These exchanges and these collaborations with international universities are made keeping in mind key aspects for students, faculty, and our staff. A dedicated career development center is there on campus, which guides you through each and every aspects of your professional development the moment you enter the university, starting from your 1st year itself, so that while you are in your 4th year, you have a clear idea of what you want to do in general about your higher education or about your career development or about the professional services. This is a glimpse of industry placement. The data reflecting here was updated last on January 2020. And we have this dedicated team which is there on campus 24/7 to guide our students at every aspect. Apart from the industry placements, what we call is academic placement, which basically is the higher education sector for students who want to pursue higher education post their graduate studies. They've been to different universities across the world. Now, here's a brief highlighting about the admission process. Make sure if there's anything which you want to clarify regarding the admission process, as Ankur mentioned, I'll be there in the chat box, so feel free to drop your messages. Now, there are going to be three parts of the application process, all right? The first definitely is your class 12th exams. Along with that, you put your score. For example, you put your SAT score. For the regions where the SAT is not being conducted this year, you have an option to take SNU SAT or APT. That's an in-house designed SAT exam for students. So you take either of those exams, you put the scores, you put the 12th class exams and fill the form. The second step is that you upload a statement of purpose. Make sure you reach out to your school counselors to get your help and assistance for the statement of purposes. It doesn't necessarily have to be your CV. It doesn't necessarily have to be your application form because that's already uploaded. Statement of purpose speaks more about you. It defines you and kind of shares the information which has not been shared in the application form. After sharing these two aspects of the application form, the third part is the online interaction. We have been doing this remotely since the pandemic. So each student will be interviewed by a panel. For example, if you are interested in history majors, you'll be interviewed by a panel which will be having faculty members from history department. So and so forth. So these are the three stages: class 12 exams, scores from SAT or SNU SAT or APT. Third is statement of purpose, and then the final interview. This is the fee structure. This is what we had last year. This might change, so make sure you check on the website in January. I'll share the link, and this is something in INR which is there for different courses. It kind of varies with different schools, so make sure you check the fees in respect to the schools. At last, these are my contact details. I have left my personal email ID. You can reach out to me at harshita.tripathi@snu.edu.in, or you can reach out to dean.international@snu.edu.in. And make sure you visit the website also once. I have tried to capture a lot of information in this 10 minutes, but if there's anything else which you need more information, do check our website and send us the link. With this, a big thank you to all, and I hope that covers in the 10 minutes. Yeah, Ankur?
Thank you. Yeah, Harshita, you just took 9 minutes, so you saved 1 minute for us. Thank you so much. May I now invite our next speaker? Student Harshita will share her contact details in the chat section. Please reach out to her for any questions regarding Shavnadar University. Shavnadar has some really good programs in engineering, tech, and social sciences. So I leave you to it. May I now invite our next speaker from VIT, Mr. Arvind, if you can come online and start your presentation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Ankur. I'll share my screen now. It's visible?
Yeah.
So good morning to one and all present here. Thank you for participating in this education fair. Thank you to Mr. Ankur and team. Thank you to Ms. Sindhu for making this possible. I'll start with the presentation. I'll go over the presentation. Whatever information that I am going through, if you have any queries, I'll be around to answer your queries in the chat box. We started out in 1984 as Vellore Engineering College with 180 students. And then 2001, we got VIT deemed to be university status. And 2020, we are a campus with 40,000 students across 4 campuses. And then we have students from all states of India and students from 50+ countries. Like I said, we have 4 campuses, one in Vellore, one in Chennai, one in the city of Amravati, Andhra Pradesh, one in the city of Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. We have been recognized by the Government of India as an institution of eminence, one among the top 10 private institutions to be included in this category. So anyone looking to study in India should definitely look at the NIRF ranking. It is ranked by the Government of India, and we've been ranked 15 in the engineering category, 16 in the university category, and overall we've been ranked 28. We've also been ranked in the global thing. These are some of the rankings that I've put up. Yeah. So Going on to the BTech programs, of course, this is a lot of information. I took this from the website. This information, all this is available on the website. I'm just going to be rushing through. These are all the BTech programs that we have in our all the across 4 campuses, and some of the non-engineering programs as well. Now, before I go on to the admission process, I would just like to reiterate or iterate that I keep telling people, not all programs that you see are offered in all campuses. Some programs are exclusively offered in just one campus. Some programs are offered in maybe 1 or 2 campuses. Some of the programs are offered in all the 4 campuses. This information, again, campus-wise information, list of programs offered is available on the website. I'll be sharing that link after I'm done with the presentation. Now, going on to the admission process, we have 2 modes of admission. One is the direct admission, which is NRI or foreign. The other one is merit-based admission, which is the VIT Engineering Entrance Examination, or VT as we call it. Direct admission, NRI, which is more applicable here, is for all Indian passport holders whose parents are employed outside India. So if you come under this category, you can apply for NRI. And merit-based admission, which is the VT category through the entrance examination, it is for all Indian passport holders. So this means NRI, the people who are qualifying for NRI can also apply for VT. So it's 2 separate application and admission procedures. You can parallelly apply for both. The NRI foreign, we were scheduled to, we were supposed to open it by mid-December, but looks like we might push it to maybe end of December or early January. The steps are very simple. You'll have to register and create an application, and then we will evaluate your application based on the documents you've uploaded. And then a provisional admission letter, which is nothing but a conditional offer letter, is sent to the registered email ID. You can make an advance deposit to reserve the branch and campus. See, under the NRI category, which is the direct admission category, you will be able to choose which campus and branch you want, and based on those specifics, a provisional admission letter is sent. And once you make an advance deposit, you're provisionally securing that branch. And then once you fulfill the minimum eligibility scores, which is if you're going for undergraduate engineering program, it is 60% aggregate in physics, chemistry, mathematics. The people with non-max, as in if you've taken bio, then you are eligible only for bio-related programs. So it is either 60% in PCM or 60% in PCB, depending on the program you're going for. Then you become fully eligible. You can pay the rest of the fees. Classes are scheduled to start from July, and of course this is subject to change. Going on to the other category, the merit-based admission, which is the VIT Engineering Entrance Examination. The application is open right now. So I'm repeating that point. The application is open as on December 1st. It opened, so you can go ahead and apply for this one. The exam is usually scheduled between April 10 to 21. That is when it is scheduled. To wait for updates, because there might be change, as there's been a lot of significant delays because of this pandemic. But usually we schedule it from April 10 to 21. We have 145 exam centers in India and 4 exam centers abroad. Dubai, Doha, Muscat, and Kuwait are 4 of them. So under this admission, as compared to the NRI admission, where you can choose your branch and campus, and you can definitely get admission under that. Under this mode of admission, the rank that you obtain, that is what will determine which campus and branch you can get into. The counseling will happen in the month of May. Fee structure under both these categories are vastly different. Again, I will share this information after I'm done with the presentation. So I'm reiterating a few points here. As an NRI, you can apply for both categories. Suppose you pay the advance under, or you pay the fees, whatever fees you paid towards NRI, and then you still manage to get admission under the VT category. Whatever fees you've paid towards NRI, if you've enrolled under the VT category, the fees will be refunded at a later point of time, provided you're still enrolled with VIT at the time of refund. NRI fees is required in US dollars. VT fees, if you come under VT category, it will be required in INR. That's the brief of the presentation. I know it's quick and probably might have rushed through, but all this information, again, you're getting a lot of information, from the session. So the best thing for you to do is, after you're done, all the coordinators, after my counterparts are done with their presentation, you can definitely make a note of these email IDs and send a mail to all of us. We'll get back to you with the information, whatever we briefed you through. We'll send that in writing so you'll have a quick reference. So these are my details. Again, I'll be sharing this information again on the chat box. I handle NRI and foreign admissions. You'll have to get in touch with me, global@vit.ac.in. For VT related queries, you can get in touch with ugadmission@vit.ac.in. I'm done with the presentation. Over to Mr. Ankur. Thank you.
Thank you, Arvind, for that wonderfully timed presentation. You saved us 4 minutes. Thank you. I think this is a good day today. We are going to finish before time. Can I have my next speaker from OP Jindal Global University, Vishal? If you can go ahead, please.
So, good morning, everyone. My name is Vishal, and I represent OP Jindal Global University. It has been ranked #1 private university in India. So, I would just share my screen and take you with the presentation. Give me 1 minute. Sir, is my screen visible?
Yeah, Vishal.
Perfect. Thank you. So, yes, OP Jindal Global University. So, what has made us #1? So, I would be speaking about 7 major components about OP Jindal. That would be faculty, infrastructure and facilities, alumni outcome, ranking and accreditations of OP Jindal, student life on campus, internationalization, and interdisciplinarity. Now, talking about ranking and accreditation, as I told you, we have been ranked #1 private university in India by QS World University Ranking. We have been also ranked as #1 university in social sciences, arts, and humanities. We are proud to say we have been chosen as institution of eminence by Government of India. Now, institution of eminence have been chosen only for the 20 universities across India, 10 private and 10 public. And it means that we can compete with world top 500 universities across the globe. As you can also see, we have been ranked #1 and #2 in 2017 and 18 in Swachhata ranking. Now, students, speaking about the courses at OP Jindal, so I'll just give a little brief about the courses which you can choose for yourself. So we have law courses like BLLB, BBLLB. You can also go into management, that is BBA plus MBA, BBA, that's undergraduate course, 3 years. Then we also have BA Legal Studies, Global Affairs. Student interested in the field of economics can go into BA Economics. We have BA Social Science and Policy. Now, students who are looking for a career in journalism can go for BA Journalism and Media Studies, and other students can go for Liberal Arts and Humanities. We also have banking and finance courses like BCom. We have architecture. We have designing courses. And recently, we have started with a new school called psychology, that is psychology and counseling. So these are the courses you can go ahead with, students. You can have a brief look on our website also. Now, speaking about internationalization, the faculty, most important. We have 7:1 ratio. That means for every 7 students, we have 1 faculty. And for a lot of other schools, our ratio is far much better. All our faculty are having international rich corporate experience, and they are from the top, you can say, universities across the globe. So you can name any universities like Harvard, Stanford, or Oxford. We have full-time faculties from these universities who are staying on campus and teaching our students. Now, we also have student mobility program. That means short-term study abroad program, semester exchange program, and dual degree program. For this, we have more than 250 plus collaborations across the globe. And we are happy to share that 40% of our partners are ranked in world top 500. Now, speaking about interdisciplinarity, we offer over 200 elective subjects each semester and include approximately 100 cross-elective subjects. Now, cross-electives means, students, if you are from one school, you can take an elective from other school. Let me simplify for you. Let's say you're a student of architecture. You can take a course from urban planning, from public policy, or you are a student of global affair. You can take up a course from law school. Now, speaking about the student life, we have 2 amazing festivals happening on campus. One is cultural, Bismarck, and second is sports, the Magnus. We have 28 clubs and societies, which are completely handled by the student committee. And most important, for especially NRI student, we have a separate student committee who would get in touch with the freshers, the new students, make sure they involve them each and every activity happening on campus and not make them feel left out. Now, we have some top names like Nasruddin Shah, Banerjee, and Peter Cat Company who are performing for us on campus. Now, student interested in sports, we have 2 huge football ground. We have 1 cricket ground. We have Olympics like swimming pool, basketball, volleyball, badminton. These all sports are available inside the campus. We have separate coaches recruited for them. You can get in touch with them and they would guide you in further. Now, students, speaking about amenities and facilities available on campus. So it's a fully air-conditioned campus. We have 24/7 healthcare service with a proper medical team available. So in case any student in the hostel require or in the campus require any help any given point of time, our team is always there. We have laundry services, ATM, salon, student common room, health and fitness, library. And now we have 2 dining services. One is OP Jindal, the normal dining service. And we have 1 food court where we have some top brands from across the India, like Moti Mahal, KV Enders, Pizza Hut, Domino's. So these are the facilities available on campus. Now students, what after GGU? That means what after your course? So we have a career service team which conducts workshop on CV writing, group discussions, and interview skills. After conducting these workshops with you, we send you for the internship. And when you're back from the internship, again, we conduct these workshops and a grooming session before we send you for the final interview. Now, what is the need? Basically, our career service team is making sure to make you ready or to understand what exactly corporates are looking from you. So apart from academics, what are the other qualities they are looking for you so they can hire you. And that's why all our students have been placed in the top companies across the globe. You can refer the website and they are always there. Now, speaking about admission process, before that, I just want to give you a simple information, student, about the fees and the other policies at OP Jindal. So the best thing about OP Jindal is our fees is similar for NRI and Indian students. So we don't have a separate fees charge or any additional fees charged for those students. Most important, we do not charge any donation. There is no quota system. Each and every student from any part of the globe will have to go through the given examination, which I would just tell you. So there is no quota, and most important, the fees is similar. Now, speaking about the 5 years course, undergraduate LLB course, that is BLLB and BBLLB, students, you will have to apply to LSAT India. We accept only LSAT India score. Okay, so you'll have to go through that examination. If you're interested in BR, you will have to give NATA examination. You will have to go online and apply for NATA. And for rest, all other courses, we have a very holistic process. Now, we accept ACT, we accept SAT. And given the pandemic situation, we understand you will not be able to, or it is difficult to go to the centers to give these exams. So you can apply through JSAT. Now, what is JSAT? JSAT is Jindal Scholastic Aptitude Test. It's an AI proctor examination. You can sit at your home, apply for the examination, apply for the course, complete your complete examination process online and get your admission letter with a simple configuration over your laptop. Now, student, as I've mentioned before only, apart from grades, our panel or the team is also looking to understand what are the other things you're interested in. We are moreover interested to know you as a person rather than only to understand your grades. So that is how our process is pretty holistic. Now, I would write down my details in the chat box and I'm looking forward to speak to the students or take up any queries there. Again, thank you so much. And thank you, Sindhu ma'am, for giving this opportunity to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Vishal, for that wonderful presentation. Students, Vishal is available in the chat section for any questions regarding social science programs at OP Jindal. Please feel free to reach out to him. I hope you are enjoying the session so far. We have had 3 presentations done. We are still going to hear from 4 other top institutions from India. The next university that I would like to invite is Symbiosis International University. If we can have the representative from SIU online, please. We can't hear you. I'm afraid. Are you on mute? We can't hear you. I think there is some technical problem at your end. Probably you need to restart. I'm afraid we still can't hear you, my dear. So we'll come back to you. Yeah, now we can hear you. Yeah. I think there is a loose wire at your end. Yeah, there is headphone issues. We can't hear you now. We can't hear you. We will have to come back to you. I suggest you restart or change your headphone. Can we have a representative from SRM, please? Suresh?
Yeah, sure. Good morning, everyone. Let me share my screen. Just a minute. I'm sorry, I couldn't able to share my screen.
Any issues?
Yeah, I couldn't able to share my screen.
Does it say the host has to enable you or something from Zoom?
I think something from my Zoom, like because normally it shows the screen sharing, like.
Yeah, there should be a green button at the bottom.
Yeah, but yeah, that's not visible to me. So that's what like.
Just a minute, Mr. Suresh.
Yeah. Now I can able to know. Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
perfect.
yeah. Just. It's not allowing me to do that.
Vishal, can you check once that he has the rights?
Sir, he already given bin rights. Okay, let me just
double check kar lo ek baar.
Yes, sir.
Okay, only the host can share in this meeting, so that message I guess.
Yeah, now you can try. Please go.
All right.
Refresh it.
Sure. Sorry, still it doesn't allow me.
Okay, so Vishal, in the meanwhile, you can
Yes.
check with Suresh and we can go to the next speaker in that case.
Yeah.
We have Professor Giridhar from Manipal, if you are here. Professor Giridhar, if you can start your presentation, please.
Just a minute. Share the screen.
Thank you.
Yeah. Very good morning to all of you. Thank you very much for being a part of this interactive session. The next few minutes, I'll be introducing you to Manipal and a few pointers about what you need to look forward to in the coming days. First of all, thank you very much to Team OP Jindal University for facilitating this interaction. And thank you very much to the principal, faculty, school students and parents of our own high school, Dubai. Now, going forward, it's going to be testing times, a little bit of time to think as well. You will have hundreds of careers options in front of you. You can be a doctor, lawyer, event manager, musician, and so on. But you really need to know how to make a career choice. The question will always remain, how do I make a career choice when I really don't know what to do? Now, how to do that? Please understand yourself first, what interests you, what excites you, what energizes you through the day when you're doing such activities. What are the skill sets that you currently have, as well as the value systems with which you have been brought up in life. Make a short career list, maximum say 5, and based on that, take a lot of time to think about it, whether it is the right choice for you. Read a lot about it and discuss with the people who matter. At the same time, keep a track of the eligibility requirements, because every university, every institute might have different eligibility requirements for the same courses which are being offered. And at the same time, remember, the growth opportunities are huge. So please keep a track of it as well. Remember, our entire effort is to have a very satisfying career, a rewarding career, and that can only happen if a right choice is made. So choose the work you love so that you don't have to work for your entire life. Now, what are the options after 12th standard? Let me introduce Manipal here. Manipal's journey in education began way back in 1953 with the establishment of medical college. Then again in 55, we had Kasturba Medical College, Mangalore, followed by Manipal Institute of Technology in 1957. Today, under the Manipal umbrella, we have 33 institutions, 30 disciplines, over 350 programs, 12 program levels. So our university, Mahe Manipal, was set up in 1993 as a private deemed to be university, and we have celebrated our silver jubilee in 2018. Today, we are an institution of eminence. Now, these are some of the programs which would be of immediate interest once you complete your 12th standard, MBBS in the medicine stream, BDS in the dental, BPharm and PharmD in the pharmacy, the allied health programs, then BSc nursing, then BSc biotechnology under the life science stream. From the science, technology and management stream, there will be BTech in engineering, BArch under the architecture, BDesign under the design stream, BPA and BCom under the commerce stream, a Bachelor of Hotel Management and BA Culinary Arts under the hotel management, and the applied sciences, that is a unique international twinning program or an international transfer program from ICAS Manipal. Under the humanities stream, we have a BA Media and Communication as well as a BSc Animation for the creative minds, BA Humanities, the BA Foreign Languages, and a host of arts and design programs from the Srishti Manipal Institute at Bangalore. Now, if you're coming from the arts and the commerce backgrounds, you can look at a wide variety of programs from the allied health, the BBA and the BCom program, a 5-year integrated program in management, the design program, interior design, fashion design, the hotel management programs, the humanities, the media, and the fine arts programs from Srishti Manipal as well. If you're coming with the physics, chemistry, and biology stream, then you can look at the MBBS program, the BDS program, the BPharm, PharmD, BSc Nursing, as well as the BSc Life Sciences program. If you're coming with physics, chemistry, and maths combination, you can look at additionally the BTech program, the BArch program, as well as the design programs. Now, please remember, whichever institute or whichever university you choose, keep a track or understand the contents of the course subjects that are being offered as part of the course curriculum, along with the variety of electives and its relevance. The faculty would be a great source of help to you along your academic progress. So please understand the competency and the specialization, the diversity of which will be of really great help when you look out for additional courses as well. The teaching learning mechanisms, the process, the delivery mechanisms, the facilities on the campus, the support systems play an important role in your success. So please understand the hostel environment, the mentoring and the counseling support systems, the networking opportunities via the student clubs, the startup culture, fest, and so on, as well as the opportunities in terms of placements, internship, and the alumni interaction. Making a choice will be very easy because you will refer us bullet points in terms of reputation, process, fees, scholarships, infra, and so on. But you now need to move to the next level in terms of the experiential learning, wherein you get to work in a group outside of the classroom. And this group could be not only from within the institute, but across the departments and across the disciplines under the university. Remember, our entire effort is to be a lifelong learner, and every learner must be a problem solver. Now, at MIT Manipal, we started with a small experiment in 2007 with the Formula Manipal car. Today, we have 21 experiential learning projects in 13 years, and this speaks a testimony. This speaks volumes of the interest level of the students in the area of experiential learning. Welcome to Manipal Academy of Higher Education. Why Mahe Manipal? A lot of things which you will feel on the campus. Ranking wise, we are very well ranked, whether it is national or international. Most of our institutes are very well ranked, whether it is in medicine, dental, pharmacy, engineering, architecture, hotel management, communication, and so on. Internationally, though, whether it is QS World Ranking or even Times Higher Education, Resha, on the various parameters, we're very well ranked. So in short, we can say Manipal is home to top ranked institutions in the country. Admission process is very simple. There are only two paths, general category as well as foreign bar NRA. We are very proud to say that there are no management quota. Please refer our webpage manipal.edu/eligibility. This will give you a good idea about all the programs that we offer, the eligibility requirements, and the admission process for each of them. Scholarships are in plenty. If you are a foreign bar NRA, there are a couple of fee waivers as well. So please make it a point to visit the scholarships page. New additions to the Manipal family: the Srishti Manipal Institute of Art, Design and Technology, as well as the Manipal Tata Medical College at Jamshedpur. Some of the important links, you'll get a full list of programs at manipal.edu/programs, and the applications are online. So you may go ahead and apply for the program of your choice at manipal.edu/apply. Students are very active on social media. So especially on Instagram, we have a Destination Manipal YouTube channel as well. So please spend some time to understand what Manipal is all about. thank you very much for being a part of this interactive session. Any queries, please drop a mail at admissions@manipal.edu. As I mentioned, the applications are live, so you may go and apply for the program of Jira. Thank you very much. God bless all of you.
Thank you so much, Professor Giridhar, for that wonderful presentation. May I invite students to reach out to Professor Giridhar in the chat section. Your questions can be answered there. He is available and he will also share his contact details there so that you can reach out to him post his presentation also. So let us go back and try for symbiosis. If we can have you on screen and we can try again.
Hello, Ankur. Now can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for providing us this wonderful opportunity. I would be sharing my screen now. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, we are an Symbiosis International deemed university. We are a specific university set up with the goal of only for the international students. We do have a local students as well. We are representing the 85 countries. Students would be happy to study here. We have an centralized admissions office. We are basically situated across the India. We have 6 campuses and 42 institutes. For specifically for the UG courses, we have law courses, management courses, health sciences courses, media and designing, humanities and social sciences, engineering, architect and design, computer studies. We are partnered with 70 plus global universities which are situated in the different parts of the world. We do offer and scholarship opportunities as well. We do have a global immersion program where students can visit for 1 semester to another country and vice versa. Now, coming to the admissions process, we have a centralized team, as I said, that is an SCI office. What you need to, students need to do is basically visit our website, then go for the registration. Once there will be a mini form. Once you would be filling up the initial information, you would be receiving the credentials to your registered email. Start filling up the application, upload the important documents or the required documents. Those are basically your 10 plus 12 graduation mark sheets. English proficiency test if a candidate is a foreign national. If he is an NRI, no need to appear for the English language test. Statement of purpose, where the student needs to tell us that why he want to pursue this particular program and what he will be achieving out of it. Apart from that, letter of recommendation, which can be given by the professors. If he has any kind of work experience, he can share that too. Now about the selection process, 80% of the weightage would be given to the 10th and 12th mark sheets. If he has, the candidate has appeared for the entrance test, that is Symbiosis entrance test or SAT, 10% of the weightage is given, but it's an optional thing. 5% is given to the statement of purpose. Similarly, 5% is given to the letter of recommendation. These are some placements, as you can see. If a student is having, or the candidates or the parents are having any kind of queries, feel free to call us on these numbers, or you can drop an email to intadmissions@symbiosis.ac.in. And by that, I would be stopping with my presentation. Hello. Ankur,
Thank you so much for that presentation. Students, any questions with Symbiosis, you can reach out to him in the chat section. May I now invite our speaker from SRM, Suresh, if you can.
Yeah, sure. Same issue again. Ankur, I think let me maybe try logging in from a different system. Maybe I'll do next, because I think now it's still not allowing me to share.
No problem.
So let me Yeah, sure.
And
I
we
can
will have in the
yeah.
meanwhile Professor George from BML Munjal presenting. Professor George, if you can present, please. Professor George, can you please, if you can hear us, can you please come online? Rohit, if you can inform Professor George that we are ready for him.
Yes, please. Okay, just wait.
Okay, so I think Professor George is also somewhere. In the meanwhile, any questions, students, you can type it in the chat box. I see there are a lot of questions being answered, but anybody wants to answer, take any question. We have a couple of minutes. In the meanwhile, we wait for presenters to come online. Please bear with us.
Yeah, Ankur, Professor George is coming.
Yeah,
Within a second.
George is here. Yeah, so we can have Professor George now from BML Munjal.
Sorry, Ankur, I was on a call.
No problem, sir. If you can go.
Yeah, so I would like to thank everybody for the opportunity. Sidhu ma'am, Ankur, and as I say before every session, that it's a wonderful initiative taken by Jindal University for having a combined presentation for all the schools. So I represent BML Munjal University. So we are a 50-acre campus with about students from 26 states, 2,700 students, about 15 international collaboration, 11 programs, and 200 plus companies in the corporate. Side by the Hero Group, so we have the Hero Moto, Hero Electrical, Hero FinCorp, Hero MindMind, Rockman, Hero Future Energy. These are the part of the group companies. We've been in the area of education for the last 7 decades. Started with the Medical College in Ludhiana. We have the School of Education in Ludhiana, 9 schools in Ludhiana, the BML Munjal Green Meadows Public School in Hyderabad. The Raman Munjal Vidya Mandir shares the boundary with the university itself. We are part of the founding members for the ISB, that's the premier #1 B school in India. Our CSR initiative for education is in the form of Hamari Pari, Educate to Empower, Parivartan, which is by Rockman. The Raman Khan Munjal Foundation educates 3 to 4 students every year, and that is 100% scholarship given to the students of the lowest strata of the society. The Board of Governors, including the family members of the Munjals, we have people from the SRF, Ahmedabad University, Singapore Management University, Anna University, and the IIIT in Delhi. So what are we trying to look at? We are trying to contribute towards nation building through human resource development, to see how high quality education is made affordable, accelerate research and development in a big way, and look at how higher education we can get the best innovation and best practices into the university. The vision of the university is to develop ethical leaders who are skilled, knowledgeable, and we want to ensure that the knowledge imparted on them is as practical as possible. For the same reason, we ensure that we have a multi-dimensional learning, experiential learning, which is almost about 45% of our pedagogy. When it comes to the global partnerships, so we have the Imperial College London, we have London School of Economics. Towards the west of the world, we have Singapore Management University. Towards the east. Towards the west, we have Berkeley, St. Mary's College, Carlston, Kent, Egder, Aston, Warwick, who are our partners. As I said, experiential learning is a part of the curriculum, 45% of it. So how do we do that? So we do that by ensuring that there are centers of excellence and partnership with the industries, where the industry teach the student exactly what they have developed, or they have kind of worked in a particular area. So we have Microsoft, KPMG, Siemens, Intel, Hero, Shell, who have Center for Excellence. Practice school is another parameter, how we ensure that the students, what they learn in the classroom, they can impart that same knowledge in the industry. So we have compulsory internship, which can be between 2 months to 6 months. In the case of management, it's 2 months. In case of BTech, it's 6 months. We have students doing live project. This is specifically in the area of MBA and BBA, wherein they work on a particular project with the industry. This they do with their classroom sessions. So this is about the practice schools. When we talk about the kind of learning we have, there are two very important parameters here. I would say three. One is the multidisciplinary learning, wherein if you're doing a BBA program or a BTech program, you'll end up doing psychology, you end up doing sociology, you end up doing world civilization, you will do literature. You know, these are things which give you a perspective about human beings. At the end of the day, what our business is all about? Business is all about human being. So psychology will help you to understand what the customer wants. Sociology will help you to do research. Literature, I feel, is a very important parameter for every student. It gives you a perspective. You read a Charles Dickens, or you read even a Harry Potter. You know, every character gives you something to learn, and that's what exactly multidiscipline is all about. Multidimensional means how you can learn by doing a particular thing. So gamification is very important. For example, you're doing marketing strategy. There's something called as a game called Markstrat, which is developed in Europe. So you will be a part of that game, and your faculty will tweak the game in between, so that you'll have to change your strategies, like how environment changed. For example, how COVID changed business, the same way in that simulation things are changed. Case study, you learn from what someone else has done. You go through what he has done, and then you think and you understand in groups and individually how much you could have done different. Role plays another form. You understand a concept, then with the prof or with a course student, you kind of work together and try to implement that concept. For example, sales, then two people are talking and trying to pitch their product, one trying to buy, another trying to pitch. Life skills, you know, end of the day, what you learn, if you can't implement that as an individual, the whole learning curve kind of dips. So here, presentation skill is very important. Critical thinking, not to jump to a particular answer, and always ask questions. Understand where that perspective is, where the individual or that problem is coming from. Look at it from 360 degree, and then come on to a solution for that. I think I've talked about this. So these are the practice school companies across industries, across sectors. We have companies coming in. I would not like to name them. It's all the names are there on your face. Research, book chapters, patents. This is what our faculty intends to get into and are into. So just to give up a quick brief about the programs which we have the BTech program, which has computer science, electronic, mechanical, data science, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, Internet of Things, robotic, all neo current topics are part of the BTech program. The BBA program and the BCom program. I think here I would just like to spend a couple of 1 minute on this. If we try to gauge the kind of courses which are there in both BBA and the BCom, digital transformation is the biggest thing which is coming up right now, and we've got program across spectrums in DT. You will see that 60% of a course which is a part of the digital transformation course is there in the BCom and the BBA program. If you look at the BA economics, students who want to get into the arts part of it or the lawyer part of it, they have the the law part. People who wants to get into the law part of it and the lawyer part of it, the art part of it, we have the BBA law. Students who want to get from the management perspective, we have the BA law for the art part, we have the BBA law for the management part. And if you want to get into corporate finance, you want to get into mergers and acquisitions, etc. BA economics, students who want to get more into the finance part of it, have the BA economics finance role course, and people who want to get into the management part of it, for example, they want to get into an MBA post of BA economics, we have the BA economics management. The BBA program, we have the regular vanilla program, and we also have the neo specializations in business analytics and digital marketing. Also, if we look at the students coming from coming from family background, which is into business, we have the family business program. Our faculty is coming across the world, Queens, Manchester, BITS, XLRI, MDI, Oxford, IRMA. This is our milestone. 2013 was the trial with the Imperial College. 14, we started the program. In 17, the Honorable ex-President Shri Pranab Mukherjee dedicated us to the nation. 2019 NIRF ranking as a B school, we were ranked 37th. We were the first entrant to be ranked highest at that number. This is the kind of awards and accolades which we have had across education and across the industry. We have been ranked among the top 10 campuses nationally for the National Employability Award. This is for the engineering colleges 2019, done by Aspiring Mind. You can see almost very good brands there: Wipro, Virtusa, Axis, Hero, Oyo, Amazon, KPMG. We can add Deloitte, Cognizant, and Hexaware to the list for this year. Innovation startup is a very important facet for our university. So we have the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Cell, which is starting an MBA program in innovation. We also have the Atal Incubation Center, and we also have a startup festival called Propel. It's going to start sometime in January. You can keep your, you can be on the website and check when this is. So our students also get funded for their startup interest. For the placement, these are the companies which we have. Life at the campus, a lot of fun, a lot of events, a lot of activities. The clubs, we have close to about 25 to 30 odd clubs. You can add clubs as per your dreams and aspirations, whether you feel that's an important thing. Sports, we have a full-fledged cricket, football, 2 lawn tennis courts, basketball. I think we got 3 indoor badminton courts. So volleyball court, everything is sports is very much an integral part of the university. This is the fees at a glance. Regarding the fees and the application form or the eligibility, I request you to go to the website and you'll get all the details there. Scholarship, we provide up to 100% scholarship across all programs. As I said, Hero, Hamari Pari, Hero Moto Scholarship, Haryana Domicile Scholarship. So all, and merit-based scholarship also is a part of the program. Thank you very much, Ankur. I hope I was on time.
Yes, Professor George, thank you so much. You were exactly on time. Appreciate your presentation and a pretty exhaustive one. Students, anybody interested in BML and its program, you can reach out to the team in the chat section and inquire more about. They have some really good programs. May I now invite our final speaker for the day, Mr. Suresh from SRM, please.
Sure. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. My name is Suresh Anand from SRM Institute of Science and Technology, which is based out of Chennai, the main campus. So SRM has multiple campuses across India, Chennai being the main campus. We have campus in Delhi, we have campus in Haryana, we have campus in Sikkim, and one in Amaravati, that is in Andhra Pradesh. And sorry, my skill is visible? Okay. Hello. Is my screen visible?
Yes, your screen is visible.
All right. Okay. Sorry. Okay. And talking about SRM, like we have like 6 faculties, 59 schools, 151 departments, which is about like 81 UG programs, 135 PG programs. So it's a very multiple streams university, as I said. With regard to ranking and accreditation, like we've been awarded with a NAC A++, which is the highest accreditation under NAC. And also NARF, we've been ranked among the, under the university category, we've been ranked number 35 in the country, and engineering number 41, medicine number 31, and pharmacy number 19 in the country. We also been accredited by ABET, which is an accreditation Board of Engineering and Technology, USA. 5 of our engineering programs are accredited by ABET. And again, like IET, which is an UK-based accreditation. And talking about the infrastructure, like in the Chennai campus, which is about 220-acre plus campus, and it's a very huge campus. As I said, like you have all the basic amenities for a student, like banks to ATMs to bookstores to supermarkets to restaurants, everything, food courts, everything inside the campus. And we have a separate NRI international hostel. and which is air conditioned, non-air conditioned. We have different options like double sharing, triple sharing. So various types of hostels are available. And with regards to the academics, most of the programs are interdisciplinary, and also all our programs are accredited by UGC, AICTE, MCI. And we also have like set of art laboratories, e-labs, e-lecture content. So it's a like charge-based credit system. And we give like uttermost importance to the research. We have like a lot of government funded projects going on, like more than 2,700 plus publications that involves Scopus, various research bodies. And also we have students of SRM has launched a satellite in the year 2011, which is still in orbit, so which is completely designed and by the students of SRM. And as it just said, like different, it's a multidisciplinary university. Under the engineering program, we have various disciplines like from computer science to nanotechnology, mechatronics, various engineering programs are there. Like under computer science, we have various specializations available. And again, like in terms of medicine, like we have MBBS, BDS, and we have like allied health sciences programs like PharmD, BPharm, audiology, speech language pathology. So the various allied health sciences programs are also available, and also we have management, which are like BBA, BBA honors, MBA, and like law programs. We also have agriculture, and so under the School of Science and Humanities, we have programs like sociology, psychology, journalism, and mass communication. BCom, under BCom, we have various specializations. We have CAMA, so various specializations programs under the humanities programs also. Also, we have bachelor's in hotel management. So there are various programs available within the campus under the one umbrella. And with regards to the globalization, like students have a chance to study 1 semester or 2 semesters, or their final year research intern in any of the foreign university we have tied up. We have tied up with more than 200 universities across the globe, which includes MIT, Harvard, Berkeley. These are all top universities in the globe. So either you can go for 1 semester, which is after your second year, you can go study, spend 1 semester in that university, appear for exam, the credits will be transferred to SRM. Also, we have twinning program, which is like first year of education will be in SRM, and third and fourth year will be transferred to the foreign university, and you will be getting a degree from the foreign university. So there are various transfer options, and the semester abroad programs are available with the top universities across the globe. And the admissions process is already open, like NRI students can apply under NRI category. Also, you have scholarships available also based on SAT exams. Students are also permitted to take SRM JEE entrance examination, which is open to NRI students also. So basically through SRM JEE, you can compete with the local student, domestic students, and you can pay on par with what the local domestic student pays. So that is through SRM JEE, and also you can apply directly. It's a direct NRI where the fee structures are given available in the website. And this is my contact details and my email, mobile. So I also copy this in the chat room section. So any queries, I'll be here to answer you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sureshji, for that wonderful presentation. Students, we all know SRM is a great university. Any questions, Suresh is there to help you out. So that's about it. We have done with our 7 presentations for the day. And I hope you liked them. You had some information that you found relevant. If you have, I see there are a lot of questions already answered in the chat section, but if you want to use the raise hand option and ask your question to anybody live, please do that now. We will be happy to take your questions live also. Yes, Aman, we will share the recording with Ms. Sindhu, and she will share the recording with all of you. That will be done. Okay. So one question that I see is it mandatory to speak in English in these universities? And if universities can come online and answer this, from what I know, Generally, the language of teaching remains English, majorly in all universities, but I don't want to speak on behalf of all of them. Arvind is here. Probably you can start with VIT.
Sure. See, at VIT, I mean, like you mentioned, the medium of instruction and the official communication will be done in English. So English is mandatory to speak on official level with, if you're talking to delegates, if you're talking to faculty members, yes, that will strictly be English.
Yeah, I think that's the case for all the universities if others do not chip in now, but then I'll do that. Has registration for SRMG started? Suresh has already answered. Yes,
Yeah.
application. Suresh, you want to answer something about SRMG? How can they register for it? What are the centers?
Sure. Regarding SRM JEEE, like the applications are already open, like centers are available across India. Also, we have 5 centers across GCC, one in Dubai. So the centers will, the name of the centers will be known later, but the applications are already open. You can apply online.
Okay, thank you. So
Thank you.
have to. So due to COVID, do they need to go to centers or they can give it through their homes? Anything that you want to mention here?
As of now, like we have decided, like it will be an online-based exam. So it will be decided during that time since it's a pandemic. But we have 2 options as of now. One is like either they can go to centers or they'll be allowed to take exams from their home.
Okay, thank you. We have a question from Yash Ahuja. What are the general requirements for universities to be eligible for scholarship? So I want all of the universities to talk about their scholarships. I think that's a very good question. If we can start with, nobody is on screen, but then I will ask Vishal to start with OP Jindal and
Yes,
talk
sir.
about scholarships.
So we have merit cum means scholarship. So student, the criteria is pretty simple. Your family income should be less than 30 lakhs per annum. Okay. And you need to, and there is a team which will evaluate your percentage, your past records. And based on that, you will get scholarships. So we offer 25%, 50 and 75% scholarship.
Thank you, Vishal, for OP Jindal. Harshita, scholarship policy at Shivnadar?
Yeah, so there are different policies actually. One definitely is merit cum needs, which is open for all students. So anyone who has strong academic credentials and is in need of financial aid can apply. That's one category. There's a second category which is for rural students. I'm not sure if this fits into this crowd which we have today, but if there's someone from rural background, they can apply for rural scholarship. There's a third category which is for students particularly from SAARC region. Again, I'm not sure if this fits for this category, but that's another scholarship category which we have. If you're a student from SAARC region, you can apply for scholarship under that category. One which fits for all under this session is the merit cum scholarship.
And for that, they need minimum marks in something, or what are the criteria for merit scholarship at Shivnadar?
Well, for that, it's simple. So when you fill the application form, there's a section which says, do you need financial aid? Under that, you say yes, and a form pops up where you fill all your details, which is being reviewed by the committee, and then they get back to you.
Okay. And they can get up to 100% scholarship, or what?
Yeah. They can get up to 100% in case they are from a very needy background or they have like really high academics.
Okay, perfect. Can I have somebody else also? We have spoken to OP Jindal Shivnadar. If Professor George, PML, what is the scholarship policy there?
Yeah, so as I was talking about the scholarship part, so we have scholarship, 100% scholarship for meritorious student, depends upon your class 12 score. So if you have 95% and more, you will get 100%. If you've got 90 to 95%, it will be 50%, and 85% to 90%, it's going to be 25% scholarship. Need-based scholarship depends upon the family income. I think the family income should be less than 8 lakhs. And so you will have the concept of Hamari Pari and all those.
Yeah, so those are need-based scholarships that you have.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for BML. Can I have somebody from SRM also talking about scholarships, Sureshji?
Yeah, so regarding scholarships, we have different criteria. So as I said, like through SAT score, we give based on SAT score of 1,700 plus, we give like 35% scholarship on the tuition fees. And also we have merit-based scholarships based on the grade 12 exams. like students who score like 90% and above, 80% and above. Have two different categories, but those scholarships applicable only for the first year. So these are the two types of scholarships we have.
Thank you.
Okay.
So SRM scholarship is clear, students. We will have now scholarship policy for VIT. Arvindji, if you can talk about your scholarship policies.
Sure. We under the direct admission, as in the NRI or foreign, there are no scholarships. As in the NRI category, there are no scholarships. But if they are coming under the VTE category, based on the rank they have obtained, there are certain the fee categories will differ. It will range from 2 lakhs to 6 lakhs. There are a couple of rural scholarships, and there are this is based on the score they have ranked they have obtained from first to 50 or from 50 to 100. There is there is 75% scholarship, there is 25% scholarship and all that. So all this under the VTE category only. For more information, they can write to UG admission @vit.ac.in for scholarship. This is basically what they've given based on the previous years. I have given the information. All this is subject to change, so they can write to the email ID, the given email ID for getting more information, updated ones.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And can we have the scholarship policy at Symbiosis?
Yeah. For Symbiosis, as of now, we are having scholarships only for the foreign nationals, not for NRI and OCI candidates. If a candidate is a foreign national, in that case, 75% or more percentage must be having a 6 band score in IELTS, or similarly for the ELA, that is an Symbiosis English language test. If they are having, in that case, it can be considered for the scholarships. But as of now, we are not we are coming with a policy for the NRI candidates for the scholarships, but we are working on it. So if any candidate is interested in us, kindly email us. We would be happy to answer these questions.
Thank you, Shana. Can I have, so I see another question. Are there additional fee charges for NRI students? And Vishal, you would like to answer it live. So Vishal, go ahead.
Yes, sir. As I mentioned during my presentation also, we do not charge anything extra fees apart from what is mentioned in our admission letter. And also the admission fees also remains the same for NRI or for any category of the students. So neither extra fees or neither any additional charges or hidden charges are there.
Perfect. Thank you. Anybody has to share anything on the fee? Is there a separation on fee on NRI, difference in fee on NRI and Indian students? Anybody wants to come in here? This is the time you want to speak about it. As Vishal said, OP Jindal has same fee for both NRI and Indian students.
I just wanted to highlight one fact for Shiv Nadar University here. At SNU, the fees for students, whether domestic or international students, or the NRI OCI category, is very nominal compared to what private universities in general in India do have. So we would advise our students to take a look at the fee structure. I also presented it in my slide. Also, it varies from the course they choose. So someone who is taking or opting for engineering course might be paying a little higher than what a student opting for natural sciences or humanities way.
Perfect. Thank you, Archita, so much for that clarification on the fee part. Any other questions, students? Anybody wants to type in? We still have about 13 minutes left till the clock strikes the end of this webinar. If no other question, probably we will end a bit early. Okay, I don't see any questions from any of the students. I hope you found the session useful and it was, it was relevant for all of you. May I now invite Ms. Sindhu to, we can conclude, ma'am. And before I go hand it over to you, my thank you to all my university colleagues for presenting and connecting with the students so wonderfully well and answering their questions with full patience. So thank you so much, my university colleagues. Thank you, Vishal, again for coordinating this wonderfully well with all the stakeholders involved. And that's a good bye from me. Over to Ms. Sindhu.
Thank you, Mr. Ankur. But I see a question again here, something on DPharm. It's in the chat.
Yeah.
If anybody can just answer that, then I'll.
So universities that have pharmacy can answer this.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah, we have a BPharm program, which is a 4-year program, and Because eligibility is we need physics, chemistry, biology with a minimum aggregate of 60% and above. And the fee for a BPharm program is $4,000 per year.
And entrance examination for
BPharm, it is not required. It's based on grade 12 only.
So what is the duration of the D-Pharm and B-Pharm? If you could
BPharm is 4 years, and Pharm D, which is a 5-year plus 1 year internship program. So that is doctorate in pharmacy. That is Pharm D.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, all the speakers. It had been very elaborate, very informative. I'm sure all the students have benefited, because these are the questions that always the parents have more than the students in terms of the process, how to apply, and whom to approach for these questions. And a lot of questions has been answered today in this individual sessions for the universities. That's a school bell, sorry.
No problem. Thank you so much, Ms. Sindhu, for having us. It's a pleasure, and my best wishes to you and the school authorities also for a wonderful year ahead. Have a good holiday season, and yeah, our best wishes.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Ankur, and thank you so much for organizing this wonderful session, and it went so smoothly. I must say your planning and moderation was amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. All the best.
Thanks a lot, Ankur.
Thank you, Ankur ji, and thank you, Ms. Sindhu.
Thanks, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.